we shift our focus to more information pouring in at this point of time. Well, in a tragic incident, two IAF planes, the Sukhoi-30 and a Mirage 2000 aircraft, have crashed in Morena in Madhya Pradesh, and search and rescue operations are currently underway. Two pilots have been rescued and are safe. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has been briefed about the incident by the Chief of Air Staff, and he inquired about the IAF pilots. Reports suggest that both aircraft had taken off from Gwalior Air Base in Madhya Pradesh, where an exercise was going on. Well, those are the latest visuals on your screens. The situation looks very tragic. It is, of course, a tragic incident wherein we are getting information that two IAF planes, a Sukhoi-30 and a Mirage 2000 aircrafts, have crashed in Morena in Madhya Pradesh. We are getting to know that search and rescue operations are currently underway. Well, two pilots have been rescued as of now and are safe. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has been briefed about the incident by the Chief of Air Staff. He inquired about the IAF pilots, and as per reports, both the aircraft had taken off from Gwalior Air Base in Madhya Pradesh, where an exercise was going on. Shreya joins me on the phone line to discuss more on this. Shreya, what is the latest updates you're gathering? Do we have any information pouring in of the third pilot at this point of time?
Riyanka, not yet. And in cases like this, it is always best for the Indian Air Force to come out with their official statement. So there's no point speculating on what the fate of the third pilot has been. For the moment, these are the confirmed details that we have. What we know is that this morning, as part of a regular exercise, two of India's frontline jets, a Sukhoi and a Mirage, take off from the Gwalior Air Base. The Sukhoi is a made-in-Russia jet. The Mirage is a French origin jet. Both of them serve as India's frontline fighter jets. Now, they take off from Gwalior, and after that, things go horribly wrong. What exactly has happened, we do not know. But usually crashes will happen because either there is a technical failure, or there is human error, or the weather goes suddenly bad. But if you look at the skies in Morena today, the weather is absolutely clear, which is why the weather, it will be difficult for us to blame the weather at this point of time for the crash. But as I said, what happens next is something we do not know. Only the pilots who were flying the aircraft will know what happened. But we do know that there has been a crash. Do we know whether it was a mid-air collision? We do not know. But eyewitness accounts that are coming to us from the ground seem to suggest that this could have been a mid-air collision. Anyhow, the Indian Air Force will not go by what the eyewitnesses have said alone. They have instituted a court of inquiry to figure out what went wrong, because not just has there been a loss of two very expensive frontline fighter jets, the bigger loss, thankfully, what we are getting to know is that two pilots who were in the Sukhoi are safe. They are right now getting medical attention. They are safe right now. But the fate of the third pilot, the one who was in the Mirage, his fate is still not clear. And a short while ago, IAF helicopter was on the way to the possible coordinates of where the pilot could be, the third pilot could be, and that helicopter should have reached that pilot by now. So we'll wait for the Indian Air Force to give us an official confirmation on what has happened. But if you look at the pictures, if you look at what's on your screens right now, you can tell the intensity of this crash. You can tell just how bad this crash was.
Right, Shreya, thank you for giving us those details. At this point of time, I also would like to rope in Manu Pabbi, the senior editor of Economic Times. Manu, what do you think as far as the visuals are concerned? It looks like it is a definitely very grim situation wherein two, not just one, two IAF aircrafts have crashed.
And that is correct. Like Shreya was saying, that there seems to be some indication of a mid-air collision, but it is too early to say that because an official statement from the Air Force is still awaited. But what the visuals do confirm, and also eyewitness accounts do confirm, that at least one pilot has been lost. It's very grim news. But we're also hearing that two pilots are safe. But yes, one pilot seems to have perished in this crash. And other details of how it happened, what were the circumstances under which the two aircraft went down, that will take some more time to figure out because an inquiry will be held. But yes, there were taking part in an exercise. And the location of the two wreckages is some distance apart, but the exact circumstances are yet to be established.
But there is a long history of the Indian Air Forces. When it comes to crashes like these, we have lost our, forefront warriors at this point of time. And another news at the, of this sort deeply, brings in so much sadness in the hearts of people. How do we now move ahead and see situations to somehow manage these kind of aircrafts crashes?
See, the problem that the Indian Air Force faced in the past was that a lot of the Russian legacy aircraft, particularly the MiGs, they had tendency to crash a lot. And because, they were aging aircraft, some of them were more than 30 to 40 years old. And those have been gradually phased out now. So the number of crashes are actually reduced. And these two particular aircraft which crashed, they actually, both of them have very decent history as far as, safety goes. We have not seen too many of the Sukhoi, the Mirages crash. So this seems to have been an unfortunate one. Most of the crashes that we see in the past have been due to technical errors of the aircraft or the flight crew. Well, that's to do with the aircraft itself. But in this one, details are still to be determined. But yes, any crash or any loss of life is extremely regrettable. And I think the Air Force is still okay with losing an aircraft, but losing a pilot is a real, big shock to everyone. Not just the value of the pilot because he's trained, but also the family that they leave behind, and their friends and the morale of the other crew members who fly with them.
Right, point taken. Manu, I'll come back to you in a short while, but thank you at this point of time for giving us those updates. I'm also being joined by Air Commodore retired Surendra Singh Tyagi on the broadcast at this point of time. Mr. Tyagi, what are your reactions coming in as far as this situation, a tense situation that has been created in Madhya Pradesh? Two aircrafts, two IAF aircrafts have crashed, and we fear that we've lost one pilot.
My heart is filled up with sadness. It's never a thing to ever visualize that we lose aircraft. And certainly the pilots, we always pray that they stay safe. And I have really no details on the third pilot yet, so it will be premature for me to make any statement about the situation, what led to the crash. And I think it is premature for anybody to make a guess and give opinion. But I can only say this: it could have been a mid-air. Both aircraft are very modern. They're highly advanced in safety devices. And so it has to be a mid-air. They were doing exercise. Now all the reasons will be established by the Air Force, and they'll give the details. We are lucky that two pilots are at least safe, and one very sad. I really send my condolences to family, but I really don't know yet whether it has been established that third pilot is fatal. We are still hoping and praying that he will be. He may be alive with some minor injuries. Now, anything particularly that you would want to ask, I can answer.
All right, Mr. Commodore Tyagi, thank you for being with us at this point of time. We will be, of course, discussing more details on this particular story. But as of now, we are getting to know the situation is quite tense. Defense Minister has inquired about the whole situation that has taken place, but an official statement from the IAF and the Defense Ministry is yet to be seen, and we will be bringing you more updates on that. With that, we are going to take a short break. We will come